What's up everyone, it's Kelly and today I've got another swatch review for you. So today I am partnering up with Cirque Colors to show you their new Silver Scream collection. But before we get into that, if you haven't heard of Cirque before, they are an independent nail polish brand that is based in the US, and all their polishes are non-toxic, they are vegan, meaning they do not use any animal-derived ingredients, and they're also cruelty-free, meaning they do not test their products on animals. So they just released these 6 new polishes. They're both magnetic and flash reactive. They're all inspired by old Hollywood vibes, and if you know me, you know that I'm very deep into my magnetic era right now, so I was very excited for these. And as usual, I'm going to be showing all the polishes in the cat eye style as well as the velvet style using the horseshoe magnet, so you can get a feel for how they look in the different styles of magnetization. But yeah, let me just dive into the swatches and then we can talk a little bit more about the collection, my thoughts on them, pricing, availability, all that good stuff. So roll the swatch footage. So as with all of my swatch and review videos, I am using base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. Today I'm using the Cirque Clean Slate base coat. We'll start off with this first shade, Curtain Call. This one is a really juicy, deep red base, and then it's totally packed with this sort of violet to blue toned purple magnetic shimmer, as well as a very subtle flash reactive sparkle running throughout. And this is a total vampy shade. I absolutely loved it on its own, so I was really curious to see what it would look like once it was magnetized. So as usual, just starting off with the cat eye style, and basically it just pulled all of that duochromy purpley violet kind of color towards the center, and then we were left with that really beautiful crimson background with a little bit of that silver flash reactive sparkle. It looked super gorgeous this way. But one thing I'm really starting to enjoy in my magnetic era is seeing these really intense magnetic colors in the velvet style, especially with the horseshoe magnet. So here's what it looks like with that. Absolutely stunning. You can see a lot of that violet color, but you can also see around the edges how it becomes more of that blue toned purple. Just really gorgeous, and I love the cool and warm together. Next up we have the shade Technicolor Dreams, and this one is another reddish base, but this time we actually have a magnetic green shimmer running throughout, as well as that subtle flash reactive sparkle in there. And this was actually the shade that I was the most excited about, just because I was so curious to see how a red and green would perform together. I thought it would honestly look a little bit more muddled, which is what I was worried about, but it ended up being so absolutely stunning. Putting on that third coat just to magnetize really deepened that red color, but it also gave such an intense contrast with the green, and I thought it was so much fun. I feel like this is such a good Christmassy vibe, but it also feels very good for Halloween, because I do think that this kind of color, especially magnetics, work for both seasons. And then of course in the velvet style, especially with that horseshoe magnet, it looked so stunning. I think that red color became even deeper and vampier, but then you get this really intense green sparkle that just looks so unique. I really don't have any polish like this, so I'm really excited about this one. And next up we have the shade Rising Star. So this one's actually really fun as well. We actually have a really deep blue base color, and then we have a golden magnetic shimmer as well as the silver flash reactive sparkle. And this one's really cool because when you combine that blue base with the yellow metallic shimmer in there, it looks like a really stunning green shade, and I always love this kind of color unmagnetized. I think it looks so fun, but then once you magnetize it, it kind of separates out and you can really see that deep blue coloring and that really intense golden yellow together, and then you get all the little extra sparkle from the silver, and it really looks very beautiful and cosmic and weird. And then in the velvet style, I felt like it really highlighted that almost greenish kind of tone to it. I know I keep on saying these contrasty colors, but I think Cirque really knocked it out of the park with picking very contrasting shimmers and bases, and they also picked shades that when you magnetize them in this way where they're kind of overlapping with each other, you still get a really beautiful color. So you can see here that looking at it head on, it kind of looks green, but then at certain angles you can see that yellowish color or that bluish color. So it's just really fun any way you wear it. And then we've actually got a little change of pace here. This next shade is called Camera Ready, and this one is actually two similar colors kind of merged together. So we have this blue purple kind of base color, and then we have a really intense vibrant blue magnetic shimmer running throughout, as well as the silver flash reactive sparkles. And so this one is not a contrasty vibe, it's more of a blue on blue kind of vibe, but I feel like there is just always a polish that I have to call cosmic when I'm magnetizing, especially in the cat eye style, and this is the one. It looks like space to me. It's so stunning, just a really beautiful galaxy sort of feel. Just imagine this with like little extra stars drawn on, or even on its own. It's just so beautiful. And then this one in the velvet style was especially gorgeous as well. It reminded me of a precious gem. It was really giving me sapphire vibes, especially where the light was hitting it, because it just gave off such a nice sparkle, but you could also get the depth of that darker blue indigo kind of color in the back. So it's just a really beautiful, classy sort of shade. And then we have the shade Starlet. This is another one I was really excited about, and it is a very deep color, but the different colors within it I think are what makes it so special. So we actually have this purpley base, and it's a really deep eggplant kind of color, and then we have this coppery magnetic shimmer running throughout, as well as the white silver flash reactive sparkle. And this, to me, for whatever reason, it was giving like a deeper, edgier version of one of their most famous polishes, Coronation. Just that mix between the purple and that coppery color I think are so special, and just the combination of that cooler base with the warmer shimmer in there I just think felt so special. But I especially loved it as a more deep, kind of haunting version of it, so I thought that was really cool. It looked especially stunning in the velvet style, because seeing those colors kind of layered on top of each other almost gave this reddish pinky tone, and it really had that lit from within glow. It kind of looked fiery to me, and then you also get that extra sparkle of the flash reactive. I just couldn't get enough of this one. And then last but definitely not least, we have the shade Real Bad Behavior, and this one I want to call deceptively simple, because when you're applying it, it just kind of looks like a dustier pinky toned color, but it really is so much more than that, especially when you break it down into its magnetic versions. Don't get me wrong, it's really stunning on its own, but the base is actually like a deep gray color, and then we have a really intense pink magnetic shimmer, as well as of course the little sparkle from the flash reactive glitters in there. And once you magnetize it, you get that really beautiful sharp contrast. Once again, I just love how deep that background color is without being fully black, because you still get a little bit of brightness on the nail. It kind of just looks like a very smoky, intriguing kind of color, and then you just get that pop of pink in the middle. I just thought that was so beautiful. And this was another one that especially wowed me in the velvet style with the horseshoe magnet, because something about it just kind of gave me this very mysterious, smoky sort of look. Just looking at it where the light wasn't hitting it, it looks like a fully gray polish, and then as I kind of move my nail around, you can see that pink peeking out and then just absolutely glowing. So I thought that was especially stunning. I couldn't get enough of this one. Really, in the promos, I didn't think I was gonna love it, but I ended up picking this one as a favorite, so I'm really impressed with it. And here's all the polishes together. Now, normally with magnetic polishes, I'll just show you a little screenshot of all of them in the magnetic style of the cat eye, because I feel like that's the best way to see the different colors that are in there, and it's kind of hard to capture the velvet style in just a screenshot because you really need the video to see it. But a lot of these I was just blown away by how they looked in the velvet style, so I wanted to show you both options. I just think it's really cool to see how the color kind of shifted in the velvet style versus the cat eye. Like, you could see how the colors look completely different, so you really are kind of getting two in one here, and it also looks totally different without magnetization. So just having those contrasty colors layered on top of each other creates a totally different vibe, and I thought that was really cool. So I wanted to be able to show you all of that. I was really impressed with the colors here. You know, I can never get enough of very sharp contrasting colors, especially in magnetics, so I was very excited about this collection, but it ended up impressing me even more than I expected, especially with some of the colors that I thought were going to be a little bit more subtle. But yeah, let's talk about these a little bit more. So yeah, those are the polishes, and overall I was really impressed impressed with these. I especially loved the color combinations. I know I talk about it a lot, but I just really enjoy contrasting color combos. And I think they did some really interesting pairings here. They feel very autumnal. They feel appropriate for Halloween, but I feel like they're also good like wintry sort of vibes because of the depth of them. And I also really like the way that they did the flash reactive formula. They added a little sprinkle into each polish, just enough to make it look extra sparkly and unreal, but not enough to thicken the formula, which is something that I think a lot of people don't love about flash reactive polishes because they do tend to be on the thicker side. So it's really nice to kind of just have the best of both worlds where you still get that flash reactive pigment, but you don't have to deal with the thickness. So I thought that was really nice. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed these. I definitely didn't expect these color combos, and I will say the bottles did not do these polishes justice. They look so much cooler on the nail, so that's always a very pleasant surprise to me. But now let's get into pricing and availability. All these polishes are on the Cirque Colors website. They come in 11 milliliter bottles, and they do feature a wide flat brush that has a rounded tip, so application super easy, and they retail for $16.50 USD each. But I do have an affiliate discount code, so you can use the code KELLI to get 10% off your order on the Cirque website, which I'll link down below. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this collection? What do you think of the color combos? Are you planning on picking any of them up, or have you already? Leave it all in the comments. We can chat about it. And if you enjoy my swatch and review videos, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye. The name Silver Screen really inspired me for this would you rather question, which is, would you rather only ever watch TV shows for the rest of your life, or only ever watch movies for the rest of your life? And I think this is a really interesting one. I don't know if everybody knows this, but I was actually a film major in college. I will say I do really appreciate more the narrative arc of a movie rather than a TV show, because I think, one, a lot of times it's hard for producers and showrunners to know when a show should end, because if it's doing well, they may as well just keep going and going, and sometimes it just kind of ruins the story. But two, because I think it also leaves room for the viewer to kind of make their own conclusions in a lot of ways about a movie. So I think that's something that's really enjoyable. It's just kind of like a short glimpse into a world, and you can still do like movies within a universe. Like, I mean, I've been going through, I feel like I've talked about this years ago, but I never went through with it, but now I'm actually going through the Marvel universe, and it's really interesting just seeing like all these films being connected, but it doesn't feel like a TV show because they're all like full movies. So yeah, I don't know. I definitely am more of a movie person. I feel like I go through phases where sometimes I'm like, I am going to just start watching a bunch of movies, and I'll like either watch them in theaters or watch them like on one of the, I don't know, subscription services, where I'll be like, I'm gonna pick a movie blind. Like, I'm gonna have no idea what it's about, what the genre is, anything, and just watch it and see how I feel about it. And I feel like that is such an enjoyable way to watch movies, because you can just go in without any expectations. A lot of times trailers, I feel like, kind of spoil what the movie is about or what's going to happen. And I just think that's a really fun way to do it. And I've been doing it in movie theaters recently, and it's been so fun. So yeah, I think I'm definitely more of a movie person than a TV show person, which is funny because my partner Ryan is very much a TV show person over being a movie person. So I watch a lot of TV shows with him, and then I watch a lot of movies by myself. But yeah, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. Leave it all in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.